Hey everybody, welcome back to FSi DFS. We're just diving into a 12-game slate here. I think ownerships can be pretty spread out in terms of the pitching side. And yeah, let's just talk about it real quick and you'll see why. So, Zach Gallen, top pitcher on the slate in my opinion, but not somebody that I'm going to be targeting right away. 11K is a very hefty price tag, and he has a tough matchup against Texas. So there is some reservations in terms of that with Gallen. Snell on the other side in this game, I really liked him at initial glance, but then looking deeper, Miami actually hits lefties very well throughout the course of the season. Snell, he's got those control issues as well, walking on average like 4 guys a game over the past month or so, it seems. So there is some hesitation with Snell moving forward as well, just because of that and like the death by 1,000 paper cuts. Like Miami's not going to be hitting like 8 home runs or anything, but they're going to be getting on base. They're going to be stealing bases and kind of annoy Snell in that regard. Ober, no interest at that price tag. I'm looking for like 20 to 25 DK points. He's hit 20 or more DK points just twice since April, so I'm not really have a strong interest in him there. Verlander's been a little bit more consistent as of late. He kind of had that up and down, stretch for like 3 or 4 months with the Mets, but since his trade to Houston, he's been a little bit better, a little bit more consistent in his starts. Now, the strikeout rate is still not there. It's still lower than what we expect it to be with Verlander, but he is showing a little bit more consistency, so I don't hate it. Still probably not my favorite play on this slate. Giolito actually might be my favorite top 9K and above pitcher. It feels so wrong saying that, but Cincinnati, they've had their struggles on offense. They had that crazy stretch like a month or two ago where they were like the darlings of DFS. They've come back down to earth for sure. Got a great ballpark boost playing in LA and not in Cincinnati. And he has that upside. He has that strikeout upside that we can... It's not loading for some reason, but he has that strikeout upside, and I think with the salary savings that we are getting with Giolito, I do actually have him ranked kind of up at the top here. Snell there, Verlander, Gallen. Gallen's more so like the price tag in the matchup, but if you want to put Gallen over Snell, I would totally understand it. I really feel that this high tier can be shuffled in a bunch of different ways. Luzardo, no interest. Mid-tier, Miller, Kikuchi. I think it's going to be Ashcraft going here for Cincinnati. I'm not sure. They postponed the game. I'm not sure if it's going to be Abbott. If it's Abbott, I love Abbott. But if it's Ashcraft, he's just kind of there. Kikuchi, he's been great. He's been very solid. He's got a tough matchup against Baltimore, though. I do like Miller's matchup a lot more going up against Cleveland. Cleveland just can't do anything offensively as of late. So while I do think that Kikuchi provides you a little bit more of a floor, I do think that Miller might be a little bit of a safer play if you do go in that regard. Ashcraft, he's fine. This Angels offense is just depleted. The amount of injuries that they've sustained to the top players has been pretty crazy. Going into the cheap tier, Clevenger, Gray for Texas, and Rodriguez. Those are the main 3 that I would have some interest in. Miley's just kind of there as like a leftover scrap. But Gray for Texas, he's got great strikeout rate. Going up against Arizona. Arizona, they didn't really do anything on offense last night until they got to extra innings where things changed a little bit. But I do like the strikeout upside that Gray can provide. Like he's got a solid strikeout rate for somebody that's sub 7K. You could see we were paying over 8K for him not too long ago. So I do like that matchup against Arizona and the price tag that he can provide. Clevenger facing off against Seattle. I think I'm actually going to be changing this. I initially typed up the sheet last night, but woke up this morning. Seattle's been hot. I guess I did not realize how good Seattle has been as of late, but they're only 2 games back of first place in the AL West. So I'm actually going to be bumping Clevenger down a little bit. The Seattle bats have been cooking, but Clevenger, much like Gray, he provides a nice floor that you can be okay with at this price tag. Again, Seattle's been very hot as of late, so I do have some reservations with that. Everybody else, not too much interest. Grayson Rodriguez, he has looked a lot better as of late. I will say that. Just a tough matchup against a low strikeout Toronto team. But 6.1K, no issues if you're going to be throwing some darts with Rodriguez. I might even throw a couple of shares myself in that. So turn to the bats. Dodgers and Atlanta, San Diego, and Mets. These are really the 4 teams. I couldn't really think of like a 5th team that I held a whole lot of interest in. But Dodgers are actually going to be your top stack going up against Syndergaard. What's the one thing we love to do against Syndergaard? It's target speed. So targeting the stolen base guys for the Dodgers, I think, is going to be really popular, and I think a great strategy. Atlanta. Do I even have to talk about Atlanta? We all know Atlanta by now. I'm not even going to talk about Atlanta. But San Diego going up against Miami, going up against Luzardo. Luzardo's really been struggling. He's been all over the place as of late. You can kind of see what's been going on with his past 4 starts. I don't know what it is, but like his K rate is just disappeared beyond belief. 3 or fewer, and then earned runs of 4, 4, 5, and 7 in his past 4. He's just not seeing the ball, or he's just not throwing the ball very well right now. So I do have a lot of interest in those San Diego bats. And then the Mets. The Mets have been sneaky hot going up against Elder for Atlanta. So I really like these Mets bats. Like I said, this offense has been hot. They've scored 7 or more runs in a handful of games recently. Their salaries are very, very affordable. Only 2 guys above 4.6, only 3 guys above 4K. Very affordable. I really do like the Mets here, even as just like a little pivot if you do want to go with that regard. GPP, Boston facing off against Verlander. Like I said, Verlander has been a little bit more consistent as of late, but still, he doesn't really have that strikeout rate that we've seen in the past, and Boston hits right-handed pitching better than most teams in the entire league. They just have so many left-handed bats that are of big interest. Houston, on the other side of that match, going up against Tanner Houck, coming off the IL. Always going to have some interest in Houston. Pittsburgh facing off against Wainwright. It's really just play anybody against Wainwright at this point in time. It's just so sad to see what's going on with his career. So a lot of interest in Pittsburgh, and then KC and Oakland, both bad pitching staffs, both bad bullpens. Regardless of the bats and their talent level, I'm going to have some interest in this game as well. I think there could be some runs. So that's kind of where things shake out. Just kind of like it was a quick, brief thing, but I'll leave the sheet up here for you guys. So hopefully this helps guide you in the correct direction. I know I didn't give any individual plays. I did see that the Yankees are calling up some young prospects, so maybe pay attention to that when their lineup does come out. They could be some min price guys that have some high upside going for them. So thanks for watching. Good luck in your contest, and we will see you in the next one.